Hello friends, my name is Emile. Now, when you think of some of the best sports cars of recent years, it's hard to ignore the now legendary Honda S2000. Launched in 1999, the S2000 became known for its fantastic 2-litre 4-cylinder engine. It used Honda's VTEC system, had a rev limit of 9,000 RPM, and a power output of around 240 horsepower. It became known as one of the best engines in production at the time. But it wasn't just that. It was also amazing to drive, with a 6-speed manual gearbox, limited slip differential, and independent double wishbone suspension. It's not hard to see why the S2000 is becoming a classic. This particular model is the CR, or Club Racer, and is a more track-orientated version of the S2000, with several weight-saving measures, as well as the absence of the folding roof, a redesigned front lip, and a large spoiler, all of which work to provide more downforce. Although power output was unchanged, the Club Racer is considered the closest thing to an S2000 Type R, which unfortunately was never produced. On to the actual lap itself, and as previously stated, our version of the S2000 we have here today is the Club Racer. This particular model produces 237 horsepower and weighs 2,813 pounds. Now that's actually pretty light, and the power is decent, especially considering the weight. So how does the S2000 drive? Well, it's kind of like a grown-up Miata in the way that it drives. This is a lot more stable than a Mazda Miata. I personally prefer the way this thing drives. It drives absolutely bloody superb. Through the corners, it is great. You get good amounts of turning grip. The rear end doesn't really want to slip out on it. It is fantastic. Admittedly, it may not be quite as fun as an MX-5, but it is a lot quicker through the corners, and the weight transfer isn't as sudden as it would be in an MX-5, which kind of always wants to go a little bit sideways. The MX-5 is a more fun car to drive, but the S2000 is definitely more track orientated. In a straight line, despite having 237 horsepower, which is 100 more than a Miata, it isn't particularly quick in a straight line. It's one of those vehicles which is very quick around the track through the corners. However, when it comes to the straights, it does tend to struggle. I would put this down to both the front downforce and that rear wing. I can imagine that doesn't particularly help its straight line speed. However, despite that, the S2000 is a fantastic handling car. The S2000 is known for being excellent to drive, and well, my drive in this car today basically confirmed that for me. Anyways, onto the time itself, and it goes into 164th with a 127.070, a little bit quicker than an Evo 9, an Lexus IS350 Sport, and a Nissan Silvia. However, it is slower than an IDX Nismo, a BMW 850 CSI, and a Ford Focus RS. It was just one of those cars which is, it feels quick around the track. However, the actual time it's set isn't particularly quick. We've seen this before. It was kind of common in Season 2 with cars like the Mazda RX-7, and unfortunately the S2000 still retains that here in Forza 6. Anyways friends, I want to thank you all very much for watching. As always, there's a straw poll below if you want to vote for next week's car, which will have its own single episode. That's down below. And as always friends, I want to thank you all very much for watching. My name's been the Real Emile, and until next time, farewell.